everybody. Will not be centralized. I mean, that's the issue with all these problems, that people easily flow into centralized structures because in the past, that's all they knew. So I'm Nick Spanos. I built the first live cryptocurrency exchange. I happened to build it 100 feet from the New York stock market on the ground floor back in 2013. I came from a political background, political data, political campaign management software, I had a lot of lives before, but my main issue, I had a big issue with the Federal Reserve because at one point in my life, there was a big stock market crash in '87, and I lost everything and became a commercial fisherman. And then a couple years later, I saw that one of the reporters said if Alan Greenspan's briefcase was wider, we might not have had the crash. I said, that guy made me a fisherman. Alan Greenspan's briefcase made me a fisherman. And I got really angry, and I moved to New York City. I was out in the end of Long Island, and I said to myself, I'm gonna do something to get rid of the Federal Reserve. It sounds a little crazy, but I'm crazy, so what's next? So years later, what happened was I was working with politicians that would speak against the Federal Reserve. We started End the Fed movement. We wrote a bill. Ron Paul wrote the bill, Audit the Fed. We chased down all the congressmen. I had 60,000 volunteers chase down congressmen with cameras, asking them, why wouldn't you vote for this? Or why don't you co-sponsor it? Or blah, blah, blah. And we chased them down. We won. We won in the House, but in the Senate, Bernie screwed us, so it didn't go through. Then he passed one that had no teeth. So there was no audit of the Fed. Oh, so then I opened the exchange. Here it is. There's a movie on Netflix, Banking on Bitcoin. They followed me around for a few years. This was 2013. They followed me around for like 3 years, whatever. And it's an incredible story. It shows you how regulation ties in. And I didn't know anything at that time. I went many years, 20 years went by plus where I was fighting the Federal Reserve in my way with protests and organizing protests and organizing laws to be passed and pushing for that, and nothing happened. I thought I threw my life away. At one point, you threw your life away, Nick. You're a loser. You don't have any. You chased away everyone who loved you. You destroyed everything around you. You hurt the people around you because you're after this building, this big crazy building that makes lithograms of dead people. And the reason why I hated that is because people store their whole life's work in it. And then with a swish of the finger, you store your work in time. A swish of a pen, you lose everything. You lose your value. So I went and I built the Bitcoin Center 100 feet from the New York stock market on the ground floor. Right there was the first live cryptocurrency exchange, 2013. You should watch the movie. I also put Suarez into Bitcoin. Mayor Suarez in Miami. We opened up the first blockchain center in Miami. That's a story from my mom. So centralization. The world is a bountiful place. So before centralization, people didn't really work that much, I don't think. Had a lot of fun. Back then, there's Dunbar's numbers back then, before centralization, we knew 150 people. We interacted with 150 people, said, oh, this is my house. You didn't need a deed. I'm me. I don't need a driver's license. You're interacting with 150 people. Well, centralization came around. Oh, and everything organized stigmergically, where things move around and the forces around you, it looks like intelligent behavior, and it is intelligent behavior, but it's not centralized. So that's like DeFi is now. But, centralization came along and we built the pyramids. Aren't they great? Pyramids great? Thousands of people died for that guy's ego to build these pyramids. I think it's ridiculous. And then you got the Industrial Revolution showed up with centralization. They taught us to ring the bell, get up, They even made schools to teach us when they ring the bell, you get up and this and that, so you can work better in their factories. So, yeah, we have these smart cities showing up. I call them surveillance cities. And I also call the CBDCs, the central bank digital currencies, I call them surveillance currencies. There are some places that you're not going to be able, if you're not going to be able to buy, they're going to control what you want to buy. So I really think that the CBDCs are going to bring more onboarding into Bitcoin and decentralized currencies, because people are going to actually start using it. It's going to bring adoption to it. It's going to be a better, easier, faster on-ramp, and people are not going to want, oh, you can't, this guy from that exchange that crashed, maybe wouldn't be able to send, if it was CBDCs, maybe they wouldn't accept it. They wouldn't be able to send it to the Democratic Party. Storing your working dollars, abusive relationship. Yes, and everyone does it. It's Stockholm Syndrome, I call it, You got a central bank Stockholm Syndrome. People think that they can store their work through time in these lithograms of dead people. And if time was money, like we say, every time they print more money, they're stealing your time from you. I don't know if you can grasp a hold of that, because you're the future. Everyone here has to embrace decentralization. The problems with this last exchange over here that failed, I've seen so many exchanges fail over time, and I've seen Bitcoin crash from $30 down to 50 cents. It's not fazing me, because I'm not here for the money. I'm here for the individual freedom. I'm not here for the money. And Bitcoin doesn't have a boss. All the other projects, including mine, I'm the boss, or whatever, other people are the bosses of their projects. That's a company. That's not Bitcoin. Bitcoin is 100% totally decentralized. There are other people that have different ideas about that, but I believe so. And we're feeling a little oppressed right now. And my father told me, because he told me one time I had a really crappy bicycle that he built with his hands, because he's an auto mechanic, and he told me that I told him, listen, I don't want to ride this crappy bicycle. I didn't tell him it was crappy. I said, I don't want to ride it because I had training wheels, and the kids outside are pressing me because they had the fancy bicycles with the pom-poms and the training wheels, and I don't want to ride this one. I don't want to ride the bicycle because I had training wheels. And they're pressing me, mekatapiezon, that's what it means, the word in Greek. He said, they're oppressing you, you must be pretty oppressible. So we got to watch it. People are going to talk, and we just have to tell them, listen, the last FTX is not Bitcoin. It's a database that some kid was controlling. And the assets, whatever, he did whatever he wanted with them. We're here for decentralization. You need to promote decentralization, because that's the only way we're going to survive here. I said, they're oppressing you? You must be pretty oppressible. I don't know if you feel that way right now, but you shouldn't. We're the ones that are in the right. We're the ones that are clean. Centralized exchanges that collapse, that they spend other people's money, that's an old thing that's been happening forever. They always said, look where you want to go. So when you ride the bicycle, you got to look where you want to go. Same thing in life. If you don't find a target for your crypto company, then you're not going to hit it. You can't listen to everybody. I said, there's people watching me out there. What are they going to say? These people, he goes, there's millions of them out there. It doesn't matter what anyone says. You have to put it in your heart to control the narrative in your own mind and move forward right now, because the future depends on you. There's generations after us that are depending on this moment in time right now, because if we don't free ourselves with the permissionless open blockchain, they're going to imprison and oppress us with the closed data silos, like the one that just crashed, data silos that they're going to call blockchain, right? Oh, blockchain, give me money. Blockchain, give me money, right? So if we don't free ourselves with the permissionless one, they're going to imprison, encumber us, and control us with the closed one. This is our chance. Right? Not our chance. This is humanity's chance. It's your responsibility. Right? I busted my ass since 1991. The torch has to be carried. People have to understand what decentralization is. I don't know what to say. I mean, I don't know how to say it. I don't know how to convey it. I go around the world, I try to embolden people. We're in the right. We are correct. They're wrong. All that stuff that happened is legacy financial system. FTX is legacy financial system. It's not Bitcoin, it's not blockchain. He could have been selling dodo bird jeans. It didn't matter what he was selling, you know? But what did happen was CZ brought it all to the surface really quick because of blockchain. He couldn't prove. Bernie Madoff went 10 years when people were calling the SEC and this and that, and no one did anything to him because they couldn't prove it fast. They couldn't do the audits, blah, blah, blah. This guy, in one afternoon, he went down. So the blockchain is working. Everything's working. We're correct. We have to stand bold, tall. And my father always said, Thirio den Guinness and Thirio den Tros. He said, a beast you'll never become unless you eat beasts. Unless you eat beasts, a beast you will never become. So the centralized printing press, central banks are beasts. These companies that are purporting to be decentralized and blockchain companies are beasts. They're all beasts trying to eat our lunch. We don't want all that. We just want self-sovereignty and ownership of our lives and our future. And it's up to you. It's up to all of us to perpetuate that ideal. It's incredible that this event exists. It's a little spotty at the moment because, you know, whenever the market's down, it's spotty. But these are the true believers. I know I'm talking to true believers, and I know that you guys are the ones. And I'm very happy to be here. I want to thank Iman for having me. And he's doing an incredible job putting together the different events and mixing it up. And I think, thank you very much. I think I went over my time here. I'm sorry.
All right, thank you so much. Thank you.